What is relative clause? When to use who, which, whom, and whose. What is defining relative clause? What is non-defining relative clause? When to use that instead of which and who. A relative clause is a type of clause that provides additional information about a noun or pronoun in a sentence. It is introduced by a relative pronoun such as who, whom, which, that, or whose, or a relative adverb such as when, where, or why. For example, in this sentence, the book which you gave me was captivating. The relative clause which you gave me provides additional information about the book. It helps to narrow down the subject and adds more context to the sentence. When to use who, which, whom, and whose. We use who to refer to people as the subject of a relative clause. For example, the person who is singing is my sister. We use which to refer to things or animals in a relative clause. For example, the book, which is purple, is mine. The cat, which my neighbor has, is really cute. We use whom to refer to people as the object of a verb or preposition in a relative clause. For example, the girl whom I met yesterday is my new neighbor. Whom is used to refer to the girl, and it functions as the object of the verb met. We use whose to indicate possession or ownership in a relative clause. It is used for both people and things. For example, the student whose bag was stolen reported it to the police. The cat whose tail got stuck in the door was screaming. What is defining relative clause? A defining relative clause is a type of clause that gives important information about a noun. It is called defining because it helps us define or identify the noun. It provides necessary details that are essential for understanding the sentence. Without the defining relative clause, the sentence may not make complete sense. What is non-defining relative clause? On the other hand, a non-defining relative clause gives additional information about a noun, but it is not necessary for identifying or understanding the noun. It adds extra details to the sentence, but even without it, the main meaning of the sentence remains intact. In simpler terms, a defining relative clause is like a key piece of information that we need to know, while a non-defining relative clause is like an extra bonus detail that gives more information but is not crucial for understanding the main point. When to use that instead of which and who. Sometimes we use relative pronoun that instead of which and who. This usually confuses students, thinking these three relative pronouns are interchangeable. Look at these examples. The man who called yesterday was polite. Or the man that called yesterday was polite. The bread machine which I bought was pricey. Or the bread machine that I bought was pricey. The relative pronoun that is less formal than which or who and can refer to both people and things. However, which can only refer to things and who can only refer to people. Remember, that can be used in defining relative clause, like in the bread machine, which or that I bought was pricey. However, in non-defining clause, that cannot be used. For example, Miss Sarah, who has a YouTube channel, is an English teacher. You cannot say Miss Sarah that has a YouTube channel is an English teacher. Alright, now that you know the basics of relative clause, it's time to check how much you've actually learned. Click here on this video to do the exercise. See if you can get all of the 10 questions correct. Have fun!